All right, everybody, we are going to try this again. Of course, if you haven't seen this before, that means nothing to you. But I just did a whole video and then realized that there was no sound because I had something plugged into my microphone port. So anyway, we're back. There should be sound this time. Welcome if you are there. Just seeing if anyone's tuning in. You'll be able to watch this later as well. But welcome to the third edition of Cyber Lunch with the Romans. And let me just check one thing here. Let's see. All right. So that's good. All right. So third edition of Cyber Lunch with the Romans. And what I have been doing, for those of you that maybe haven't tuned in yet, is every Tuesday at noon Mountain Time, I'm taking what I did on Sunday morning during that sermon, enhancing it, expanding it, maybe sharing something with a little bit of a different nuance. And I'm sure that makes you really want to watch, but it's good stuff. But I took last Sunday off of preaching, and the next Sunday I'm off as well. But I still wanted to do these segments. And today, instead of talking about Romans, I want to do a shameless plug because I'm really excited and really believe in something I am involved in. I am co-host of a podcast called The Flaming Sword, which is a great name, great to remember, The Flaming Sword. My co-host is Darren Gregg. He and I are good friends, and we decided to do this podcast a few weeks ago. So there is a link. I'm going to put it right here. I forgot to do that as well. All right. There's a link I just put there, and if you click on that link, it will take you to our main podcast page, which is Anchor. Anchor is the site that hosts that podcast. But you'll also see there, now you can find our podcast in several different places. In fact, you can find it on some platforms I didn't even know existed. So there's an app you can download. I think it's called Pocket App or something like that. There's Spotify. There's some other things. So however you like to listen to music or podcasts, you can now get our podcast in that place very easily, and you can listen to it there. We're putting out one episode a week. We just recorded our 10th episode, yay, last week, but 5 are available. And the reason we did this is because we want to help equip you as parents, as grandparents, and any young men and women that might be listening. We want to help you have good reasons to know why you believe what you believe. That area of study in Christianity is called apologetics. 1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 15 says, always be prepared to give a reason for the hope that you have. And one of those words in Greek is the word apologia. That's where we get our word apologetics of the Christian faith, which is essentially the defense of the Christian faith. Now, you may or may not know this, but if you look at the numbers of young men and women who are leaving the faith, and we can ask a question about, did they really have saving faith and then left, or did they maybe not have saving faith? That's a little bit beyond what I'm doing here in this short video. But the point is that statistically, anywhere from 70% even upwards of kids, even that grow up in the church, even that might grow up with faithful parents, maybe even a good pastor, they bail once they get out of the home. But the reality is they probably have started asking some of those questions and having those doubts long before they get to that age. And so what Darren and I wanted to do is equip you. That's one of the things that apologetics is for. So you can, if your kid's listening, great. Parents, you can tell your kids about it, or you can listen to some of this content and help them with it. Because here's the thing. There's a pretty big divide here, and this is a lie, but this is the way it goes. I've got my faith over here, my little faith part of my brain, and it's going to help me be comfortable. It's going to tell me when I die, I'm going to go to this place called heaven. Jesus is going to keep me out of any trouble. He's going to keep me from getting hurt. We've got this faith thing. But over here, well, this is reason. This is logic. This is science. And as long as you keep this little faith thing out of the way, I won't mind. Did you like that demonstration? Just made that up on the fly. I know it's hard to believe. But the fact is, as Christians, we have a bazillion reasons to have to understand that our faith is defensible, that it's evidentiary. I think that's a word. And so what we're doing in these podcasts, let me just kind of go through what we've done so far in these first 5. The first couple episodes are why we believe what we believe. Why do we believe Christianity is true. We did 2 episodes on that, and in the first one especially, Darren and I kind of introduced ourselves to you. Then we looked at intelligent design. Intelligent design is a scientific field that looks at the evidence for God, even outside of the Bible, as we just look at our universe. What evidence is there for God? And there's lots. Then we looked at some scientific evidence for God, and we had our first guest on, Carmen Hetrick, who will be a repeating guest with us. And Carmen's quite the researcher and just gave some different scientific evidences for God from Scripture. And then the last one that's available, we have an interview between William Lane Craig, who's a pretty well-known Christian philosopher and apologist, and he's talking about this atheist. And you can just see how silly this atheist sounds in episode 5 as he tries to basically say that, well, God is sort of like this computer that somehow made itself. And I mean, it's just crazy. But those are just the first 5. And then in some of the episodes that you don't have access to, they're coming out usually Monday of each week. But we're talking about the manuscript evidence for the Bible. Now, here's something amazing. I'm not making this up. If you stacked up all the manuscript evidence for the Bible, even if it's just a few verses here and there, all the passages, and you stack that all up on top, it would be a mile high. Now, for some of the other books that we know, ancient works, maybe you've just got a few pieces for evidence, and no one would doubt them. We've got a mile high manuscript evidence for the Bible, and everybody doubts that. We've also got some other episodes coming up. What's another one we did? Some of the prophecies of the Old Testament that predict the life of Christ and so on, and how those came true. We're going to be looking at some point at eschatology and some of the different views we have there, as we're living in a time in history when people are wondering, what's going on? Is this it? And so we just want to equip you so that you can realize, I have good reasons to believe in the faith that I do and to have the Christian worldview. And we're also hoping some skeptics, atheists, agnostics might tune in, and if nothing else, they might hear something we say and you think, I've never thought of that. I didn't think there was actually any evidence for this at all. So that's what we're hoping to do on our Flaming Sword podcast. Hey, it's only 20 minutes. Who doesn't have 20 minutes? Maybe you're washing the dishes, washing the dog, maybe you're on your way to work, maybe you're exercising, whatever you might be doing, that just 20 minutes. And I just one of the things we're hoping, and I want to be really specific here, and I really do believe in this, and that's why I'm asking you to do this. Here's what I want all of you to do. Pick one of those first 5 podcasts and listen to the whole thing, and then share it or like it with a friend, family member. For those of you that are newer to online stuff, when you share things or you like things, means just clicking a like button, that helps more people to see it. And we're hoping that 50 people, if we could get even 50 people to listen to each of these podcasts, for us that would be a win. Now, in the first podcast, we're way beyond that already, but the other ones are slowly starting to catch up. You can help with that. And feel free to provide feedback. We have an email address set up, but I can't recall that right at the moment. But you can just email me, joel.rosenauer, rosenauer, @gmail.com, joel.rosenauer@gmail.com. Give me some feedback. Watch an episode, like it, share it. Let's get it out there. Just let me end with this final thing. This is unbelievable, but Darren found this stat. On Spotify alone, which might be the most popular platform that people use now to listen to music and podcasts, there are 1.5 million podcasts hosted on that site. I don't know if there's too many young men and women that don't have jobs and live in their parents' basement and podcast all day, or what's going on, but just think of that. 1.5 million podcasts. So for us to get in there and have this thing be sustainable, we need you. We need you to watch it, like it, share it. We think that you will. We tell people we take our content seriously. We take our Christian faith very seriously, but we don't take ourselves too seriously. We have a lot of fun. Darren, just a shout out to him. He does all the production. It's fantastic. It's a good thing he does it, because I don't really know what I'm doing in terms of that, and I don't really have time to do it. But he does an amazing job. All the music, puts some funnies in there. And again, we realize in 20 minutes, we're not going to change the world in terms of apologetics, but what we're going to do is give you some good, solid content, and we're going to point you to other resources, other YouTube videos, Christian authors, Christian apologists, and we're going to resource you with those things, so on your own you can do further study. And of course, we're going to try to equip you with God's word as it relates to the defense of the Christian faith as well. So I hope you'll consider tuning in. Good to see some of you there. Hi out there, and you'll be able to watch this later as well. But again, take this to heart. We'd love to get your feedback. We want to keep this thing going for a good long time. All right, so bye for now. We will catch you later.